Hi, everyone. I am back. Hello, my friends. So, let's just get something out of the way super quick. People are always asking me, why do you care? Who are you, lady? Why do you even care about what's happening in the world when it comes to the digital, all of the things that are happening digital around us? Why do you care that there are going to be more than 1 billion people who are going to be without the skills in the next 5 years to get these new jobs, these new occupations, these new job titles that are opening? So let's just deal with the elephant in the room. Who am I? Well, I've been in this space for 28 years, from tech to startup to business consulting. And I'm the one that continues to say, because I didn't get my degree until way later in life. I think I was almost 40 years old. And I had already 16 years in my career, over 150 skills across 30 industry sectors, doing a lot. So my path was certifications, more than 100 business and tech certifications across 20 different domains. And so, yeah, I went the backwards way, where school, I couldn't sit still, wait on a bell to ring, move to the next class. I literally was always the one I wanted to go do. So I'm so grateful that my mom, back in 1970, started her tech career. And by the time I came along, it was super cool. Me and my brother were able to really start to understand and get ourselves immersed in tech when we were super, super young. And so that led to all of this. And now we are in an AI driven world. And I've had 10 years of experience in that space. And so now, metaverse, blockchain. I'm so grateful that I started in the world of extended reality, mixed reality 8 years ago in the enterprise space. And now to see consumerization take over in a way that we never could begin to imagine, it is super exciting. So why do I care? Number one, all of you matter. To continue to see so many people get left behind, to see that people really don't understand the power of bringing together multiple experiences, ethnicities, backgrounds, genders, all together to move us into these new spaces. I care because I don't know if we're doing enough. I get to talk to so many Gen Zers, so many early in career millennials who are just super excited about all that's to come about their future. Number one, many don't even know how to get started. How do they move into what I call skill stacking? Because skill stacking has been absolutely important for my career. How do they begin to navigate? Because they want to do a startup, they want to start a business, or want to go to corporate, don't want to go to corporate, want to go into government, want to go into politics, but then some want to do it all. Some want to keep driving for Uber because they have so much flexibility. And I would tell anyone, it is absolutely okay. Skill stacking is critical. And that's what we're going to do now. We are going to talk about 3 things that you can do to future proof your future. Woohoo! Future proof your life. Get to your destination. Why do I care? Because all of the things that you saw before, the things that I've accomplished, none of it means anything if we are not creating platforms to bring everyone along the journey. What does it matter? And so as AI goes beyond our own cognitive ability as humans, as AI begins to digitize programming and be able to digitize data sciences, coding is not the only thing that you can start with. You can get started with so many different areas in tech. That's what we are going to do today. It's going to be real time, hands on. We're going to deal with our creativity, our human ingenuity, our innovation, all the super cool stuff that makes you so incredibly amazing. So, let's get started. 3 things. That's all I'm asking you to start with. Number 1, your vision. Vision disciplines your path in life. It narrows your path so that you can get started. Very focused. You have all of these things that are taking us off of our focus. And I get it. What's happening from whether it's the shootings, the school shootings, all of the things that are happening, the mental illnesses, all of the things that are happening. We're at war in another part of our world. There's enough to take us completely away from our own lives. But I'm telling you, you have to dig deep to find hope because you got to get to your destination. We need each of you to get to your destination. And so we're going to deal with your vision to create a narrow path. And one of my favorites that has allowed me to move majority of my career without a degree and no tech degree is skill stacking. So we're going to go through some architectures, talk about the ability to connect the dots through enterprise architecture. It's where I started my world, business processes. How does all of that work? Project management. How do we move into spaces so that we understand technical capability like the Internet of Things, being able to build your own IoT, maybe remote to change your TV without needing to really understand how to code. You can copy paste code. There's GitHub, all kinds of really cool things that I talk about in my book. But skill stacking is so critical. Number 3, being able to tell amazing stories. I'll give you an example. Someone's like, I'm not putting McDonald's on my resume that I worked in a fast food restaurant. I said, So McDonald's, we're going to talk about storytelling. It's not just about McDonald's. It's about the fact that you're in a multi-billion-dollar industry that's close to $1 trillion industry in the food and restaurant industry, that business. And so you were able to light up the world for customers, understand and predict their needs as they came and looked at the menu. You were involved in automation because the menus were automated. So much you can do. And so don't shy away from humble beginnings. And we're going to talk about how to integrate all of that in your story. Now, are you ready? I don't know about you, but I am. Because I need to see you get to your destination in life. We need you. We need you to unlock your gifts, unleash your power as we move towards a digital world that can easily leave behind so many, but nope, not under Teresa's watch. No, not gonna happen. You mean too much to us. So let's roll up our sleeves. I say that all the time. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's go. 1, a vision creates a narrow path of discipline for your life. And so in my book, and we're going to do all this in real time, by the way. There's a chapter in my book that I deal with this. And so if you have Becoming a Digital Unicorn, great. If not, we're just going to go straight to the digital copy of my book. And on page 53. So it talks about, a bit about this where I say, the beginning of your personal transformation starts with your mind. You must see in yourself what others don't. Your mind is your thought center and it holds the key to your personal transformation. A mindset is a mental frame that selectively organizes and translates information, positioning us towards a unique way of understanding and experiencing. Positioning us towards a unique way. I just said that. So we're going to back up. This is real time, by the way. I'm not going to even delete this out. Positioning us towards a unique way of understanding and experience while guiding us towards a subsequent set of actions and responses. This is why it is so important to have a vision for your life. Vision imposes discipline on your actions so that you can get to the end state or the destination you've envisioned for yourself. So this is critical. And there are steps in my book that I actually go through. We're not going to go through all of them, but let's just look at a few of them, that will help you. So this is on page 55. 4 actions that will help you vision your future. Are we ready to go? I have my pen, my marker, and that's what I'm going to use. And I use my stickies. So I'm going to give you a moment to go get what you need. Go get if you're a notepad, if you type, I'm old school. You saw 28 years, so I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it is what it is. I'm proud. I'm so proud of my age. And so you can laugh all you want. Yeah, I'm climbing up that ladder, but I'm going to tell you what, we are all getting ready to move together towards purpose, starting with our vision. So let's go. Number one, cultivate your imagination. So here I write, you must be able to deep think and ponder different questions concerning what's possible. Place your focus on developing the skills needed by asking the right questions so that you can uncover clues about what the digital world holds. Where are we going? So let me tell you where I start and why it's important. You cannot do this exercise around a bunch of people, first of all. You need to go to a quiet space. A quiet space. I call it your hidden place. It's your hidden place where you hide, where no one can find you but you. Because the noise with your family, the children, the dog, unfortunately, they pose as distractions. So you've got to go to a secret hiding place to do this exercise and begin to ask yourself questions. Why am I here? Write that down. I could tell you now in this season of my life, I wish someone had done this with me earlier. I am here. What lights me up is every time I help someone discover why they're on this earth, the original intent of their purpose, and help them unlock that. That moves me and it makes me excited. So then I had to ask myself, why am I here? I know why I'm here. I'm here to help others unlock their greatness. So together, we can unlock greatness in the lives of others. And so this is where I spend my life with nonprofit organizations, with so many people, with startup companies, and pour myself out. I'm a vessel. And I'm grateful that that is what my purpose is in life. So you're going to have to think about yours. What are you meant to achieve? So then I took my mobile phone and said, what am I meant to do with this phone? And it's not just to play games, play Roblox. It's not just to get on Decentraland or Sandbox, to get into the metaverse. It's not just to go to OpenSea for NFTs. Someone created that. Many people are creators and they're creating amazing and incredible things that are making our lives better. What are you going to create with your phone? I want you to take a moment and think about that. What business are you going to launch? You're going to move from just consumerization to ownership. You know, look at the materials around you. Nothing is ever really new. I'm in innovation, been in innovation a long time. Nothing's ever new. All the materials have been existing. It's how you decide to see them differently and uniquely, to use them for a new purpose, for new use cases. All right? So I want you to take the time to do that. And then number two, look around and see what others need. What do they need? What is the world missing that if you don't show up with the idea, it's not going to happen? Start to question what the world needs. And there are so many. You know, when I walk out and when I'm walking down the street and encounter people who don't have a place to live, don't have food to eat all of the time, I wonder, what in the world can I do? What can I become so that I could stop homelessness and poverty? That's what's important to me. And so by me helping others to cultivate their greatness, to show people you can become kinder, a gentler you, that no matter what's inside your head to stop you from doing what's good, that I am always the voice to help others understand you can be good, you can be smart, you can be incredible, you can be in tech, you can do all of these amazing things and still have humanity first. So start to question. And again, that is on page 54 of my book. And then you need people. You can't move your vision without people. I know sometimes it's hard when people tell you no when you ask for funding or request support or help or resources. Keep asking. Someone's going to say yes. It's our minds, everyone. Stop looking at no as a negative thing. So here's how I choose to see no. When I see the word no, right, just flat out no, I set it aside and I say, well, maybe they meant like no for now. Because in my mind, I convince myself, they mean no for today. For today. So I continue to look at the root of why didn't I get the response that I was looking for? Because what it has me do is go back to the drawing board to say, how do I get a yes? Because many times people get no and they give up. And they say, okay, the buck stops here. It does not stop here. I'm here to tell you that no allows you to go back to the drawing board to say, how in the world can I get a yes? So then I have to sharpen up my pitch, sharpen up my focus, sharpen up my language so that I can get a yes. So that makes me study the pattern and say, what is the pattern? Why am I continuing to get no? Why are people not interested in what I'm saying? Am I talking too much? Am I not starting out and leading with value? Am I not leading with outcomes? You need people. So in order to build the right connections, you got to think of the people to get to, but something has to be in it for them. In order for them to listen to your ideas, to exchange ideas, they got to see something valuable in you. So it's just important because you're going to need people to execute your vision. There's no way to do it alone. You need resources, my friends. And then there are other things I talk about when I talk about connecting the dots, being able to understand what's happening in the world, sharpen your pitch, knowing what's the macro economic factors, microeconomic factors that are going to really make your idea stand out because what you have to bring to the world, you're futuristically thinking of the barriers that are going to occur. No different than right now. We're in 2022. We're facing inflation. We're facing economic recession. So what can we do to future proof the future for everyone else? And that becomes a part of the pitch. And so I encourage you, get a vision. Take the steps that I've listed in the book, step by step. Make your path narrow. Discipline your path. It's not to say you can't binge on Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max. You need time. You need to raise your family, your children. You got to do that. But all those other distractions, phone calls, gossiping on the phone, all that other stuff you're doing, set it aside. Vision creates a narrow path so that you know what to say no to, you know what to say yes to, you know what to let in, you know what to kick out. You got to get to your destination. And vision helps you achieve that. That's step one. We're going to move to step two next. The tips to help you future-proof your future. We're only starting with 3 things, my friends. Let's go to number 2. All right, we are back on number 2. What are we doing? Future-proofing your future. Now, this one, I'm going to tell you, I never have an issue telling people that I was just not the college me school. I did very well, by the way. But I wasn't focused. I couldn't stay disciplined. I wasn't the kind of person that you can leave in a chair and the teacher teaches. And while they're teaching, we're just sitting there. Why am I doing the robot? I don't know. It just felt like a robot moment. I don't know. Yeah, y'all know that was coming. I don't even think I did that right. But whatever the case, skill stacking. Wow. Skill stacking is a thing, by the way. I think I showed you earlier, I have over 150 skills across 30 different industries there's probably not an industry, I don't even know. Thank goodness for consulting. And if anyone ever wants to go across industry, I will tell you, There are nonprofit organizations all over the world who need your skill, who need your skill, and so across the different industries, they're working in different domains, different industries. Skill stacking is a thing. So guess how we're going to go and really start to immerse ourselves in skill stacking? Are you all ready? Because we're going to do this in real time. We're going to start with my CV. From my CV, we're going to move through the CV, and I'm going to show you step by step where I actually went to get the skills, because now all of this stuff is available for you guys online. Back then in 1995, we didn't have everything. We actually physically had to go get a certification. We had some online stuff, but we had to go to a physical location, get the training. You all have this online now. There's no reason that you can't say that I'm going to build 20 skills a year so that I can become this unique being in this digital space that's offering and bringing more and more value. The more skills you have, the more mastery across different and diverse sets of capabilities, the more value you bring to the world, my friends. So let's go. We're going to do this in real time. I'm going to go grab my CV. I took out all the company names. So you should be able to see that my first company started with a company that did a lot of training. They were a vendor for Microsoft training. It was back, I didn't even put it up there. It was like in 1993. So I didn't put that up there because that's like a long time. And we started, basically I traveled, I learned all of the stack of so much. And that's when I got introduced to Visio, which allowed me to do a lot of modeling back at that time. I worked with manufacturing companies. So I got to do a lot of modeling. I did not go to school for that. I had to go to training and get certifications. Back then it was like Irwin, you can look it up, ER-WIN and BP-WIN, which are all solution enterprise architecture. There are ways that engineers build models. So imagine me, young. I just dropped out of school. In fact, I think I put that in my CV for you all, just so you can see. I attempted to go to HBCU. I grew up in Dublin, Ohio, and we're not. I just wanted to Dublin, Ohio. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I wanted to go to HBCU. I dropped out my first 6 months. So many times it's not even on my CV because I left and didn't get anything. It was as if I didn't even exist there because I left so soon. But my mom got sick. My brother got a football scholarship to Ohio University. And, I had to go take care of the family. My mother, I don't mind sharing, I had epilepsy at the time. Still battles, but medicine and technology have come a long way. And I'm so grateful. But I dropped out. But I didn't care because I couldn't sit. I don't even know if I did. Did I even go to any classes? Like, I don't know if I even went to any classes. I know I used to play spades and all kind of stuff. I don't even know. But I was smart. I just couldn't stay focused. I couldn't sit in class. I couldn't, robot, teacher, bell rings. Then you move to the next. I know I keep doing this robot thing. I think I feel like I need some music. Then try to go to University of Houston. I dropped out multiple times. And every time I dropped out, it wasn't in vain. I started working with startups. Remember, my mom was in tech a long time, hiring tech people in the retail industry she was in. And so it was amazing because I always found myself working in tech stuff, right? So then finally, when I got through my journey, knowing that I'm just not going to go back to school, I love tech. And so I went to a large energy company, went to a consulting firm, and was able to land my first opportunity. Remember, I told you I learned how to model. I went to got the certifications to do architectural modeling. So I got a chance to do business process mapping, architecture. I'm going to show you where all of that is. So let's go so that you can start to see that this is the foundation of skill stacking, understanding how to connect the dots, understanding how it is that you can be able to look at systems, people, and processes. How do they come together? And so you ready? Let's go to Google. And so here, let's try that again. Let's do. All right, let's go to Google. So you'll see that there is the business analysis body of knowledge. It's the IIBA, who I am just a big advocate. They do so much to build the skill set. Now, it's not about becoming a business analyst. There are foundational skills that you really need in order to understand business, in order to understand research. I mentioned earlier macro, micro factors in the economy. How do you take what's happening? And so, if you know that we're going through inflation, how do you future proof your business? What are the skills that you need to do the current state assessment, future state assessment, interviews, so that you can conduct them with formality? How did I learn all of this stuff? Well, you all now have a big guide. I mean, I actually had to go to classes to understand, learn, but the IBA is free. Business analysis, body of knowledge. I put in PDF. So whenever I know that I want to find a PDF, I do a specific search because I want to cut to the chase. I don't need a bunch of blogs, and that all comes in handy. I want the guide. So you'll see what I put in and look what pops up for free. Look at that. 514 pages of goodness. There is no reason you are not building all the skills, everyone, that you need oh my gosh. Oh, you should just say, over the next year, I'm going to become so smart. I'm going to build 10 new skills as a skill stacker. I'm a serial skill stacker, by the way. I still stack skills, and we're going to keep going. So the business analysis body of knowledge, let's just do the table of contents super quick so that you can start to learn and see what things and so you'll see that it teaches you step by step how to do requirements analysis, how to build your stakeholder map, how to do designing of requirements, all of the things that you need to do to approach business analysis engagements. So this is how I started my world, right? Eliciting, doing assessments, solution assessments, enterprise assessments. This is all free. Looking at all this other stuff. Financial analysis on page 224. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Organizational modeling. Look, you got this in one guide. I had to go get certifications separately for many of this stuff. SWOT analysis, use case scenarios, 500 pages of goodness. We love IIBA. The diagrams, all of the things that you need to do in order to understand the world around you. Strategic analysis is where I started my strategy. It's where I started to understand not just technology, but how do we do strategic analysis so that I can put together whenever people are building applications or they're building models for their applications. I knew and understood without ever programming. I built a world because I didn't want to know how to code. I can't code. I love people who code. Developers are like my favorite people in the world. Some of my favorite. I love designers. I love developers. They're incredible. I was neither. So I had to find my little niche in the world. And mine was architecture, strategy, business consulting. I'm like, yeah, I found my rhythm. I found my flow in tech. Ooh, look at that. Requirements design. Yes, it's feeling good. Requirements analysis, cycle management. Oh, this is so awesome. And so look at all of this. It teaches you step by step, right? How to really start to move the needle for your world so that you can start to create and add more value to the people around you. So we're not going to go through all of this. Let's keep going. The other big skill that was important was project management. Project management helped me with the organizational skills that I needed to bring to others. So now I took that to a whole nother level where I can stand up digital transformation offices, standing up full frameworks, creating full frameworks because I had a foundation. So PMBOK was the project management body of knowledge. You can put in the PDF, go to Google, put it in yourself. Oh, and guess what? Look at this guide. 579 pages. It was free. You can just learn this stuff for free. This is amazing. I just wish I had this back in the 90s. We didn't. But let's look at some of the things that you can do. So they talk about being able, it's the full project management life cycle. It's everything end to end. And then they've integrated new capability, integration at cognitive ability, integration at context and complexity. So there's so much richness and goodness here. And I'm just going to go ahead and click it so that you'll get a chance to kind of see what that experience is like. And so all of these, uh, our ability to be able to understand how complex large scale organizations work. How do we bring those skills of people together in every single knowledge area across their business, from technical to leadership to processes to insight now? All of this capability, you get it here. And so there's just goodness. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit so that you can kind of see, some of the big topics, but how to create a project charter. What are all the inputs, the stakeholder map, all of the requirements that we just talked about with the business analysis. So all of this goodness, look at these inputs, the charter, the enterprise factors. I was talking about the macroeconomic, the data gathering. This is just incredible stuff, and it teaches you stuff step by step. Okay. So, another big skill that you'll see that I had is governance. So from ITIL to CMMI, actually in my resume, we can go back to it. I list a lot of them. Why is important to know? So from Prince to, I went and literally went to courses for all of these. OPM3, which is all about the organizational change and program management. TOGAF, SOA. You'll see that those are architectural, enterprise architectural capabilities that we'll talk about in a moment. But all of these ITIL, these are governance from Six Sigma. I just encourage all of you. You don't have to wait for college. I don't know where they teach this in the curriculum, but regardless if you get your degree, you never stop learning. And I think that this is the point of what I've been saying for a long time. And so you saw that, and let's go. And so all you do is put in CMMI. I put in guide PDF. Let's see what pops up. And look at this right here. SEI or the Software Engineering Institute, you'll see all of the goodness that you can get. This was all prepared from Carnegie Mellon. This is really exciting because you're able to go through, and let's just look at what major things. So it's all about the practices, the processes, all of the development areas. This is amazing because, again, I had to actually go to class. All of this information is here for you. It's amazing how you're able to go and learn. And so let's look at the table of contents, all of the maturity levels, the capability maturity models, all of the capability modeling. This is where I started really understanding frameworks, how frameworks are put together. How do you start to look at business processes, improve business processes, re-engineer business processes? Now, look at those skills. You started with the business analysis, with the PMBOK project management, and now you're moving forward with understanding governance frameworks and process management. Everyone, these are the fundamentals. It's like building a foundation of opportunity, especially within the tech space and even in the business space, consulting space. It really is going to help you build a foundation that's needed in order for you to unlock greater value around you. And then when you put all that together, in fact, what I'll do is I'll put, so that you can get another understanding. We'll go to the architecture stuff in just a minute. PDF. So the ITIL PDF. This is the International Institute. These are like standards of governance. And so ITIL V3, I think that this should be a guide. And it is. And so it's all about, how is it? It's like a huge infrastructure library for continuous improvement, for standards. They have all of the case studies in here and templates as well. And so again, this is another fundamental framework for you to add to your skill stack, right? Because we're becoming serial skill stacker to where you can have hundreds of skills, right? And be able to go across multiple industries and move your career in a way that you never had before. It's all right here. Isn't that awesome? No, you're awesome. You're awesome. All of you are awesome. All right, let's keep going. So another skill stack. So you'll see all of that across my CV. Let's just go back down. We may skip a couple of things because a lot of that was used at a big tech company that I work with. I was able to then start my SaaS career. So you see, that was back in 2004 that I started working in SaaS. At the time, it was Siebel. I'm very grateful to have learned and understood all of the modules. Today, you can actually go learn CRM for free. I mean, practically. I know that even there's the Trailblazer. I'm going to go there. I mean, because it's so super simple. And let's go here. And it's all available to you all. And it's a CRM SaaS. And, and we're able to, uh, let's go here. So I'm going to start this one again. So you'll see that there are all types of ways. I mean, even SaaS now today, you all can do Trailhead. So, and you all can do Trailhead. Start that whole thing over. And so today, CRM, you can go learn so many different capabilities. If I go type in Trailhead, okay, and CRM, I'm able to go and Trailhead has a lot of modules. And all of this, you just sign up literally. You can get started. There's so many skills you can learn. This is unbelievable. So this, really is an opportunity for you to skill up. And it says it here, skills for the future. Get started for what? Another free another free site? Are you I know you guys are gonna get tired of me saying, where was this at when I was, early in career? But you have all of this. And so there's so many things that you can learn and get your credentials and badges. And so this is just exciting, right? Let's go back to my CV. And here's where we can talk about all of my enterprise architecture. I think that this is really what propelled my career. The moment that I said that I'm going to go further, that it's not just going to be about my skills in business, process reengineering, process architecture. Again, all of this, I still hadn't had a degree. I still hadn't gone back to school by 2005. I think I decided to go online around this time just because I knew I had to have a degree to be a leader. But I think it was just University of Phoenix at the time. I was just like, after University of Houston, after dropping out over a 2-year, 3-year, actually over a 4-year period, so enterprise architecture was something that was super important to me. I had all these skills that we were building from business process to project management to architecture from the business process side, the logical modeling, the physical modeling of things, just so many skills that I captured over that, that 7-8 year period. It was amazing. I dabbled with tech startup at the time. There were friends who were starting their tech startup. So giving them free business process mapping, pro bono. So sorry. I invested sweat equity. That's the way to see it. And then started working for a nonprofit as well, investing in them to get the skills in return. And then enterprise architecture. So back in 2005, I knew that this is something that I was super excited about. And so let's just go look at where today you're able to go get all these really cool architecture. And so we could just do something here. So I'm going to put in SOA Enterprise Architecture and PDF. And let's do guide. And let's just see if this is going to give us a guide that will help us. And here's a practical guide. Let's see, that's federal service, service oriented. Here's some design strategies. I don't know if this is an actual PDF. Let's take a look. But I'm going to show you something else as well. So this looks like it does. 26 pages. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is an industry one, right? Where they broke down all of the business processes within that specific space. And then they brought in services-oriented architecture, step by step, in order to be able to take all of the modules. You saw a very monolithic approach to the way that they were approaching architecture. And so this is the beginning way for me to learn and understand enterprise architecture. I'm going to show you something else. So YouTube is really the main place I go to when it comes to free. I'm a hands-on person, so I'm going to do enterprise architecture tutorial. And there's so many people who just are truly incredible. This is one who's explaining enterprise architecture. It is the beginning. Why is it all important? They're actually giving you all of the components of enterprise architecture. Now, let's talk about why this is important. Later in my career, I realized that all of the software architecture has to have a cloud architecture as we move to SaaS, software as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, and now we're moving to XaaS, which is everything as a service, but it has to have fundamentals in a way. So whether, there are all these different companies, whether Google, whether Amazon, whether it is, all these other companies, right, that have capabilities in their stack. They, if you go look up Lambda architecture, you'll see that majority of even though they call things different, their stack is different. Their servers are different. All of their environments have different named components, but the underlying architectural capabilities are really pretty much similar. If we're talking AI, we're talking data ingestion, we're talking about maybe building service bus, all of the things that it takes in order to get data through the pipeline, being able to massage that data, do something with it, contextualize it, put it in machine learning, put cognitive on it, and then being able to get it to, databases. All of that has something in common. So enterprise architecture really allows you the ability to understand how not only software works at a high level, how the underlying technology works, but how the people participate in it. So the roles, the actors, and then the processes, and then all of the use cases on top of that. Knowing this information is invaluable to you. I don't care what industry you're in, you can always look at a problem and be able to take systems thinking to solve problems. And so really being able to take advantage, there's so many people introducing, but then there's also solution architecture. And they're like here, basic essentials. So there are different companies who are going to have their different software stacks. AWS has a solution architect. They introduce it here just to get the full course. So we really want you to start to think about, again, skill stacking. Doesn't mean that you're going to master something and do one thing and that's all you do. It means that you're introducing yourselves to multiple different skills so that you can continue adding unique value into the marketplace. And these things are available mostly free. I think even Udemy, when I go look up Udemy, and so we're just going to do Udemy. And I had it up there, enterprise architecture. And so let's go take a look and see if in Udemy, and I see LinkedIn has courses as well. And Udemy looks like they have courses as well. So their intro, where you can start to learn and understand about the basics. Even they have mobile enterprise architecture. So all of these things are really available to you, and super excited that that you're going to take this journey to start stacking your skills. You skill stacker. That sounds good. You're like a serial skill stacker because you're awesome. Serial skill stacker. Does that sound cool? I don't know. I don't know, but I know that I love stacking skills. So then I went on, you'll see through my CV, where I went and worked for a big tech consulting firm that was a partner of Microsoft's. Oh, you're talking about everything. At the time, they were doing app modernization. So, being able to go and mine thousands of apps through a tool that you click a button and it can tell you the last time code was used. I didn't have to code it. I just needed to understand the output of the reports that were coming. So they were all visualized through visualization. I'll say that word. Can you say it with me? Visualize through visualization. So all of that. And then I was able, and many of these projects took place at the same time. I worked in the oil and gas. They were doing optimizations of their apps as well, through real-time tools. That was a lot of enterprise architecture. I got to literally put this stuff into play where we were mapping and modeling how people were using and interacting. Now, a lot of it's called jobs to be done. And it's an entire area within human centered design, which is incredible that these things keep building upon. So now I can go to human centered design and understand that world because I had the fundamentals of business processes, process reengineering. See where we're going? We're stacking these skills. All the while, I haven't coded not one time. I'm just kicking butt in tech, rocking it out because I just decided to go do things that were scary, super scary, and just go do them. Screwed it all up, messed it all up, did everything wrong. And it's just okay. It's just okay. I just don't mind failing. And I think we got to get that mentality. Don't mind failing. GIS, Geographic Information System. I got to learn a lot about geolocation at the time before we had, that was before Google Maps and Waze, which we are always happy when people innovate and go beyond enterprise to consumerization. It is amazing. And that's why I said you have something locked in you that's incredible. And then automation. So I just showed you where to go get a lot of that. More enterprise consulting. I did a startup because I started really getting into AI at the time. That was back in 2010. The market, it just went bust, and the housing market. And so I found myself, laid off from the big consulting firm. And I had to go take all these other jobs. I knew I wanted to start up. So that meant no apartment. Me and my dog couldn't afford it. And we just kind of did this car thing for a little while and this little motel thing for a little while. I mean, that was no fun. But I tell anyone, when you know that you're getting somewhere in your journey, in your destination, there are times that you're just going to have to make the sacrifice. And for us, me and my little doggy at the time, we just made, I said, I just got to make the sacrifice. I can't go home, can't depend on my family. I was, much older then. And I just said, we'll figure it out. It's not the worst thing in the world to sleep in a car. I put all my stuff in storage at my grandmother's house. And we just had to rough it for about 2 months until I got a call. Startup thing didn't work. We went all the way through angel funding. Didn't work out, but that's okay. I learned a whole lot. And then I had to go back into corp. And again, kept going with architecture. You'll see all of these skills on and on and on. And then I got another call to go to a bigger firm. And this is where all of my years of experience. And by the way, I was almost 40 when I got my degree. And it was right around this time in this consulting firm and startup that I had that time. And I got it online. It's a degree that I don't even think means anything. It was from university. I don't have a problem, University of Phoenix. But by that time, I had so many years, 15 years of just hands-on, piled down innovation, creating a path of certifications, really making myself incredibly valuable. That is where I spent my time. And all I'm saying is everyone is different. I wanted immersive hands-on experience. I love startup, I love tech, and I wanted to be immerse myself in it. School couldn't give me that at the time. Here's what I'm saying to all of you. You're going to have multiple paths. Some of you are going to love school and go get your PhD. I have friends who got their MBA, their PhD. They are awesome. It's a lot of work, and I wish I was that smart and that disciplined. But then you got to remember, I've been immersed in from AI to machine learning to cognitive building and architecting things on the edge within cloud environments and just really plowing the field at blockchain. And so some people wish like, oh my gosh, I wish I had 15 years or 20 years of experience with that. The world has changed. So you have multiple paths. You can take the certification path. You can take the academia path. There are many disciplines where you can't get around it. If you go be a physician or an attorney, chemical engineer, there are things you can't get around it, but there's a whole new set of occupation titles. More than 100 million new job titles will be created over the next 10 years. What does that mean for you? Oh my gosh. It is incredible. Because some jobs will go away, but many will be birthed as a result of what's happening across the industry. The AI, digitization, automation is just unlocking new job titles all over the place. So that's where I've always wanted to stay, is at the edge. There's nothing wrong with that. And so you'll see that as we continue to go, then all of this came. You'll see the next step. All right. So how do we begin to learn more about, now we went going into architecture when it comes to cloud, SaaS. You'll see all of the things in 3D, holographic capability, conversational platforms. This is where everything has been so fun. Over the last 10 years, the last decade has been incredible. And so now let's just go take a look at where you can go get some of this latest stuff. I think that that's what's awesome. And the other thing is neat because, you could go get a lot of these certifications and get these classes for less than $100. That's what's so amazing. All right. So let's go look and see some of the really cool things that I did to learn AI. So custom vision is free. It's visual intelligence where you're able to understand how to train models, how to label your images, and then how to, take what we call REST APIs or application programmatic interfaces to be able to tag the collection, and then being able to monitor and evaluate the models. And so this is all a part of the AI learning. Custom vision is a part of the cognitive stack. And so, yeah, just go to customvision.ai and sign up for free, or you may not even have to. You upload your image. It's going to show you how to train the model, and then it's going to show you how to evaluate the results of the model. Now you're like learning AI, not needing the code. Again, we're still going to need developers always. We're going to need programmers, but we need you too. People like me. I was counted out, but you can't count me out. No, because we're too awesome. We have too much to offer. All right, so we got that. And now all of the AI education also. So AI.Google education, you'll see that up here. Free. Look at all this. So much opportunity to be able to learn AI. It's just incredible. And so for me, it wasn't just about the architecture. The architecture is crucial and critical, but I think I had actually an architecture here. But it's important that you know the stack, that you understand big data and intelligence stack, but being able to know why you're doing what you're doing, add context, going out to McKinsey, to Deloitte, some of the big four reports, to Gartner and to Forrester, all of these research reports, being able to come here I love connecting the dots because I stay in research. And so now you evolve the skills that you've learned to really start to understand how do you help people, leaders to lead their markets, bringing in special insight. And so adding this level of education really becomes incredible. It becomes amazing. The other big thing, I went into IoT, I told you blockchain, and hey, these things are available online as well. And so I went and purchased a Raspberry Pi kit, an Arduino kit, got the boards, and then went and learned actually on YouTube IoT for beginners. I did like little things like helping me to understand how to build out really cool projects. And so STEM, I know this is for kids, but STEMpedia is awesome. And so I just think that everyone should get a lesson in just learning how to do something basic. And so you'll see that they have these activities. Here you can just send data to the cloud, just basic. Get data from the cloud. Set up your own little weather station. And so I did when I first went into IoT. You got to remember, everybody's learning. We're all on the same level playing field. Yeah, we all are. So it's important. Don't get intimidated. Everyone is learning. All of this stuff is new, right? The metaverse is new. And believe it, we're 10 years out probably before we can get it right, bringing physical things together with virtual things. I've done a lot in this space, in the enterprise space, when it comes to extended reality, bringing in AI, machine learning into those spaces through the architectural capability, and then helping customers being able to realize with their investments. All of that just by lighting up your world, trying something new. Again, stacking skills. Stacking skills ain't a game. It's power in stacking skills. And so I just want all of you, to really start to understand the power that's around you. And all of these things are being made available to you. All right. All right. Well, we got through the CV. We got through lesson 2, skill stacking. Hope it wasn't too boring for you, but we got to get through this. We got to get through this. No other way but to get through it. So now we are going to go to number 3. All right. I'll see you in a minute. Go take a break. Hope you wrote all this stuff down. See you in a minute. What are we doing? 3 tips to future proof your future. Something you should be doing over the next 3 years. Just take 3 years and get very focused, narrowly focused on getting to your destination. So now we're going to deal with storytelling. This is one of my favorite things. So I really, really want to make sure that you get your pen, paper, notepad, whatever. I'm going to give you a moment to do that. I'm going to give you a moment, and I'm just going to take a sip of water. So the reason that this is so important, I call it, your storytelling swag, because brand influence is huge. Being able to influence people through your brand, right? Your experiences, your personality, everything that makes up who you are. But storytelling is a gift that you have to cultivate. And so we're going to just show you some resources. But in my book, actually, if you go to page Becoming a Digital Unicorn, and it's page 16. And it's called Discover Your Own Uniqueness. And so here I write, I believe that each of us are born with unique gifts and talents to deploy to the world. We possess uniqueness that sets us apart from others. There is remarkable value in cultivating your unique brand. You can leverage your personal brand to empower businesses and communities and create positive change in the world. And that is what this is about. This is why we're going through all of this. It's really important that we begin to move towards our future together. And storytelling is a part of that. And so I'm just going to give you a quick example. It's going to be a little interesting, but let's just go look at this in real time. So, and before we were doing something with the IoT, you got to go to session two just to so that we can learn more together. But I did a couple of things. I always say you better use your humble beginnings in your story. And I don't have a problem that my one of my early jobs, it wasn't my first. My first was with my mom doing some really, really cool stuff in tech, but very basic things like data entry. But then I needed to go into the world to go make a little bit more money. So, because I was doing pro bono stuff for mom, but I was learning. So it was an exchange. I help her. She gives me new skills. You know how it works. And so, McDonald's, Little Caesars, the grocery store bagging groceries. We forget that's part of skill stacking. And I'm going to show you how. Sometimes people come to me and like, Miss Treese, I work for McDonald's. That was like no big deal. It was fast food. I'm like, you didn't just work for McDonald's. I said, go and look up the statistics of McDonald's. Just go look at the basic stats. 25 million people a day are fed, which is 7.5% of the population. And if we look at the numbers in the market, right? Look at this. Their market share in the global fast food segment, 21% of the market, right? If we go look at the industry altogether, so then we say food and restaurant industry market stats. I'll say 2022 because it's where we are. All right. And so then what that takes us is this, the forecast. You work for McDonald's, or did you used to work for McDonald's? Well, you better write this down that you worked for an $898 billion industry. That was the sales. Yeah. So this is not about you working at McDonald's. Here's your story. Your story is that you started your career in the food and restaurant industry, which is does almost $1 trillion in sales. But we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry where you served customers, you analyzed their needs, you predicted what they potentially would want based on the look in their eyes when they look up at the menu. And so you had to anticipate the customer's needs. That's a skill. You had to be empathetic when things didn't go well and they needed a person to come in, so you provided customer service. Let me tell you something. Leverage every opportunity. I see people sneering their nose up at the restaurant industry or sneering their nose up, at some of these other roles and jobs in hotel industry. I will tell anyone that even when I think about the people that serve us whenever we're at hotels, we don't look at them as, housekeeping, just housekeeping. They're so much more. They have to take a look at what's going on in the room around them, and being able to have a unique, special eye to be able to deliver delightful experiences to customers. So whether that's the way they make the bed, they take the time and care to immerse themselves in hands-on activities to make sure that I, as the customer, have a delightful experience. Telling stories, everyone. And everyone in this world has a role. I was telling a landscaper who says that, during the pandemic, he had mostly elderly customers who had a hard time, and other customers who had a hard time paying, and so he had built up a certain segment, and people fell on rough times. And so for him, it was about going deep, doing the research, really starting to understand what's happening in the world around him. And so then what I did was led him and said, okay, great. You are a landscaper. What apps can you use in AR, augmented reality, so that people can design their yard? Oh, augmented reality and landscaping. So see, we're doing this all real time. Augmented reality app launches gives clients true to scale. Look at that. Get rid of these commercials. All right. And look at that. And so he was able to take a look at the world around him and say, I want to enhance my business. And now he has a new pitch, a new story for his business, right? That he has an app that customers can download. They're able to take a picture of their structure and bring it into the software. And through AR, they can quickly get a really a good look in 3D at how these capabilities will be able to transform their yard, right? These delightful stories that we have to be able to build, my friends. And it's for everyone in any industry. I went back to McDonald's and said, what are they doing in AI? So now you work for a company that's using dynamic yields machine learning for data driven decisions on digital displays so that they can begin to take digital signage to the next level, helping customers to quickly decide what they want with new menu choices and options. They're optimizing using AI to optimize their supply chain as well, all of the big data. So you don't just work for a fast food chain, you work for a chain that infuses AI, machine learning, cognitive stack. I'll tell you, maybe. I don't know if McDonald's is moving into NFT, but let's just see. I saw something there with OpenSea. So here, let's just take a look and see McDonald's NFT. Okay. And they have an NFT on OpenSea. So now you work for a company who's, dibbling dabbling into the world of NFTs and created limited connections. So that gives you more opportunity to tell story. And so this is really important. In fact, I'm going to go through one more thing because I think it's really important that you also understand where can you go learn and understand how to become a better storyteller. And so again, one of the places that I always start just to see what other is doing is business storytelling. And I go look and see what others are talking about. Udemy has a storytelling for business, and then they have something there on it. Young lady who I did get a chance to see this, but it's a TED Talk, a TEDx on business storytelling. And so there's so much opportunity for you to be able to hear the basics. What is business storytelling, right? And it's a video seminar to be able to take you through this step by step. And so, really, there are big opportunities. If I also go to and write in business storytelling template. And let's see if there are any templates out there. I know that there's a business model canvas template that allows us to actually take a look at their, and then there's, what are the P's of storytelling to help you step by step from product to profit to the promise to customers, and then the personalization. There's a guide to brand storytelling. And then we could do, remember I was talking about PDF. There could be a PDF that you can go and look at. The essential guide for storytelling, for business storytelling. Let's see what that's about. And so here, in this, it's being able to storytelling guide for business that was published by Wiley Publishers. So this is stories for presentation, values, personal brand coaching. This is incredible. This is incredible. And again, there's so much out here that you all can take advantage of. I just get excited to understand how it is that we can begin to skill stack really being able to, from design thinking, that's the other thing that I really wanted you to go and take a look at. So that's another thing to put in your skills wheelhouse. Again, you're not going to do everything. There's so many skills. Our goal is to get to 200 skills over the next few years, but we're going to keep moving, keep going, or maybe 100 skills over the next few years. But then when we put design thinking and PDF, and then see, here's design thinking process guide. And let's take a look at that. The D School. I love that. That's part of Stanford. And so there are really cool things on what does it mean? How do you do it? Ideation. How do you do that? So all of these amazing hacks that you can do along, with friends. You can get on a journey, with, just get on a roadmap for yourself. But guess what? At the end of the day, you have so many resources at your fingertip, right? Human-centered design is another one. Systems thinking is a big one for me. Systems thinking, and I'm just going to go after the PDF again. Remember, I always talk about I go after PDFs because it allows us to get just real guides. And so ResearchGate I love ResearchGate, by the way. And so you're able to sign up and then get real researched papers on what all of this is. But systems thinking is super huge, and there's a research paper there. And then let's see, ResearchGate intro. Here's a beginner guide. And so again, all of these things are available. The key is being able to Google or Bing what it is, the skill that you want to go after. I would say, remember earlier I talked about business process reengineering and modeling and mapping, program project management. Introduce yourself to some of the governance frameworks like ITIL, some of the ones that I showed you earlier. Let's actually go back to my CV. And you'll even see here that I have, these years of being able to do digital transformation, project management. There's the governance, the COVID, across all these industries, but design thinking has been a huge part of my career, getting certifications in that. So if I just navigate to design, even the Fuego BPM designer, I was trained in that super early on. Design thinking, technical architectures, because architectures require a certain way that we can go in and design underlying frameworks for all of that. So all of these things you'll see at one of my CTO architecture design strategies, design thinking. Design has been a part of practically every role that I've been a part of. And so really want you to get that storytelling down, design thinking, take those courses. Feel free to make comments, right? I just think it's awesome when we can all come together. I want to know where you are in your journey. That's important to me. And we're just going to wrap up here. So the 3 things, I think I wrote it here. Narrow your path, discipline your path. Okay. Skill stacking, increase your skills, right? And then become an amazing and phenomenal storyteller. You have all of the things that you need in order to be successful with all of this. I am so grateful that we had this time today. You all are amazing. Keep going. Don't stop. This is the season as we move to digitization, as we move and really become smarter intelligence around us, right? Machine intelligence. But it's meeting our human ingenuity, and together there are amazing, incredible things we can do when you unlock your gifts, your vision, your passion in a digital world. So keep going, get the book. I'm super excited, Becoming a Digital Unicorn. We're going to stay the course and continue this journey in our next masterclass. So have an awesome one, everyone. Leave comments and let me know how you're doing. All right. I really do care about that. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.